Yeah, Stoicism is not supposed to turn your heart to stone. It's supposed to mean you're not overwhelmed by your emotions. You're not this walking open wound. But I mean, when I think of the circles of Hierocles, I think about someone who's actually working quite hard to care about as many people as possible. You know, at the beginning of Meditations, Marcus Aurelius talks about one of his teachers taught him to be free of passion, but full of love. And I think that's lovely.
Yeah, philostorgia, which is like family love, paternal love. There is toxic, bad Stoicism out there. Andrew Tate did a video where he talks about Marcus Aurelius. Some of these guys are definitely associating with capital S Stoicism. But what they're talking about is lowercase Stoicism, which, you know, is like a hot potato or whatever in the field of therapy. Because, I mean, very simply, I've said this a million times, but I guess one of the main things that I'd say from my perspective as a former psychotherapist is that there's a significant body of research that shows that lowercase Stoicism, we measure it using several tools. One is the Liverpool Stoicism scale from different research teams around the world that show that it's unhealthy and it has multiple problems. Let me do a very quick deep dive, right? Because I think people should need to understand some of this stuff, right? And it's not complicated. People who view anxiety or fear or sadness as bad and that they have to repress them or suppress them or conceal them from other people tend to, number one, there's a well-known phenomenon called the rebound effect or the paradox of thought suppression. So if people try to suppress a thought or a feeling that's automatic, it usually recurs more frequently and more vividly in the future. So there's a number of experiments that show that happening. Not consistently, but it happens enough times that we also know that people who judge the belief that anxiety is bad, for example, people who rate strong agreement with that statement show poorer outcomes long term in terms of their mental health. Your brain is designed by evolution to allocate attention automatically to threats. If you think that your own tears are a threat, like if you think that your hands shaking is a threat, if you think that blushing is a threat, if you think the emotions or certain thoughts are a threat, your brain will allocate attention to them automatically. It will narrow its scope of attention down. It'll give attention to them highly selectively. You'll get tunnel vision for them, and that will magnify them and exacerbate the effect that they have on your behavior. In addition to those problems, if you're focusing too much attention on coping with certain feelings rather than just accepting them and riding them out, it increases cognitive load. So for instance, somebody who has social anxiety, if they think, oh my God, having social anxiety means I'm weak, it means I'm not a real man, it means like I have to keep a poker face, I have to prevent other people from realizing that I'm scared inside because it's not manly enough or it's not tough enough or whatever. I've got to stop people from seeing it. In addition to actually just magnifying it, in addition to making it more likely to recur in the future, it's confusing because it means you're using a lot of your brain power now. You're trying to walk and chew gum at the same time. So you try to have a conversation with somebody or give a wedding speech or something while also simultaneously worrying about and attempting to suppress and conceal your anxiety, like rubbing your tummy and patting your head or something like